it's just, you know, these kind of things that happen during this, or things that happen during the season, and you know, you got to be a good example to your players or life lessons. You know, that's part of what the game of football taught me, and that's what it teaches all of us. It teaches us perseverance and, you know, how to find your way through difficult situations and, you know, rise above them. You know, we will. We got kids, and you know, they're the core group of kids down there are just awesome. They're buying in everything we're asking them to do.
Are you approaching it like David's done for the rest of the year?
No, because that's not the situation. You know, the doctors are, you know, we're just really, you know, the best way to put it, the way I see it, it's day to day. You know, with, you know, the progress or prognosis of what's going on.
Shawn, is Ty ready?
Yeah, Ty's ready. You know, Ty's, you know, your backup is always the most important player in your program. It's a lesson I learned from Coach Eubanks a long time ago, and you know, I've shared those things with Ty. You know, he's done a nice job of improving himself, you know, through training camp, and you know, we get you know, accentuate a whole new personnel, you know, a whole new skills, you know, yeah. So, you know, he allows us to do some things that we couldn't or wouldn't have done with David that, you know, we actually have in our package. So we'll be able to open up some of that stuff.
What are some of his strengths as a quarterback that are different than David's?
Well, first, he's you know, he's very athletic. You know, he's a physical presence. You know, he can hurt you running the football. He's got a very strong arm. He can fit a ball. And Ty Wendell's, now David had a lot of ball speed, and he certainly had the same type of arm. But we're not, you know, we're not giving anything up in arm strength, ball speed. You know, he's done a really nice job of learning how to manage what we do. We'll keep it, you know, you know, comfortable for him. Where, you know, we don't, you know, ask him to. I'm not going to ask him to do what we did with Teddy last year, because he's only, you know, in fact, it'll be very similar to what I did with Teddy, you know, year one.
Do you cut the playbook in half?
Yeah, we won't. I don't know if half's the right word to use. I mean, but we'll look at what I've always just looked at, what, you know, what the guys know and what fits their skill set. So that's what, you know, and then what we can use to, you know, to work against the people, our opponent that we're getting ready to play.
Shawn, is year one Teddy a fair comparison?
Well, you know, it's yeah, very well. It's a comparison in the situation. You know, was forced. Teddy was forced into the situation. You know, Will Stein, who was our quarterback, actually separated his shoulder, and you know, he was going to be down for at least, at that time, at least 3 to 6 weeks, depending. So yeah, you know, as far as this week, yes. You know, I mean, how we're looking at it, how we're preparing, you know, how we're preparing Ty.
Coach, obviously Gerard would be one play away also.
Right.
You know, where is he as far as his development goes?
I just had that talk with him. I just had it with Ty a couple weeks ago. He's you know, he's progressing. You know, he understands the language and knows how things work now. He's got to polish his game. You know, but again, you know, I think we, the coaches, we have to ask them to do what they can do, you know, what they can execute. So that's what you always look at.
Are you planning to play him?
No, not right now. No,
not at all.
No. You know, you know, not right now. No, we would. You know, that's we've got to get Ty ready. You know, in the weeks that we have right now, it's hard to get 2 guys ready. You know, just from a rep standpoint. And the second guy's got 2 reps, which really get him up to speed with the game plan. But you know, we get a lot of reps for him, but not the kind of reps that he would need.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a number 3 quarterback?
Yeah, well, right on the depth chart, yeah. Me? No. Trey. I have a Trey. I have a Trey right now, yeah.
One of the things Charlie said that he liked so much about Ash was the way he studied the playbook and understood the offense. Where is Tyrone as far as that goes?
Well, Ty's been side by side with him. You know, he's, you know, Ty's learned. I take their notes up and I look at their notes and make sure that, you know, they're hearing me right. And Ty has done a nice job of, you know, being a student in the classroom. And then he's taken it to the field, and that's where you see his improvement. So he has improved along with David. The edge David had over Ty was the fact that he had game experience, had been in games, and, you know, knew and understood what was necessary, what was needed. You know, that he's been a starter, in other words. Ty got to play, but he never got to start. You prepare like a starter. That's the edge Dave had.
John, is there just as much pressure on the offensive line this week? Because I would think any defensive coordinator will load it up and come after him.
Yeah, there's, I think, the offensive line, losing, Dom, it's really it's done something really cool to that group. They've really galvanized themselves. They know what they've lost in Dom. Jake has taken a great sense of responsibility on, making sure that everybody's on the same page. They're watching film together. They're communicating in the room together. Jake knows he's got to captain those things. He's making sure the communication's up and down the line. So that's been pretty impressive, seeing those guys work together.
How would you grade their performance on Saturday?
The O-line?
Yeah.
We played so many different combinations in there. I thought that, just looking at the film, Dom was having a great game. He was playing a great game. I felt like, Big Perk played well. I thought he played really well. You could see that really as a whole group, they were very, I'd say they were good. I know Joe expects, he expects so much out of them. He expects a real high standard of play out of them. And, as a group, they were really solid, though. I mean, they covered up, created some nice running lanes for the backs. I got to throw the tight ends in there because I thought, Swain played really well. Guys that just popped off and played well, covered up people, finished blocks. Those guys are the guys that, really stood out.
Coach, you think guys didn't have a ton of explosive plays, against North Texas? Was it because you were taking what the defense was giving to you?
Well, you try to create them now. We were taking shots, and we didn't finish some of those, and we got to finish those big plays. I think we had 9 in that game. You like to get 12 or more in a game. That's what your goals are. But it's we're just that far away from finishing plays, and that really what came out of it is just finishing across the board. There was a couple times had we got the backside block on some runs that were runs of 10, 11, 12. They would have been breakout runs, and some of those bigger ones may have been home runs. So we just got to finish. That's part of the process that we're teaching.
Shawn, do you want Tyrone to feel like this is a huge deal, it's a huge responsibility, or do you downplay that with him?
No, I just talked to him. Basically, his first transition as he develops is he's got to be a part of why we win. I said a part. He's got to understand what he's got at his disposal. He's got 2 great tailbacks. He's got a really gifted core of receivers. He's got really good tight ends. He's got a really good offensive line. So he's got to let those people help him. He does not need to put an S on his chest and a cape on his back and try to do it all by himself. It won't work that way. And, I alluded to experience I had with Teddy getting him ready. And, that's one thing that I was able to get across to Teddy. And, he basically learned to let the game come to him and trust his preparation and react in a game.
Shawn, you talked to David throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any times when you had concerns, or you saw throws or
no,
hits that
he
made you
was
wonder?
no, he was good. He said it. He felt like it really honestly. I think the first time we knew about it was the next day. I think AP got a call about 1:30 or 1 o'clock at night, and it was. I think one of the fumbles, the very first one. I think he took a knee to the helmet. And, it was, nothing he said that really bothered him that much. But, that's probably the only time that he can ever remember getting whacked like, where it was a headshot.
You said that he's day-to-day. Do you know something that would indicate?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't want to say day-to-day. It's just what our doctors, they've got to progress. These things are always things, as you probably will understand, on the Nationals landscape, it's a major issue that players have been forced back or come back. They're trying to come back too soon, and it's a day-to-day process. That now that you have a checklist that you go through. So,
Do you think y'all need to decide this for him?
We have to see what the information is. To be honest with you, you have to just wait and see. see what information comes from the docs.
Is he going to be able to be around the facilities to help Tyrone preparing for this week?
Yeah, he's been here every day. Yeah, he's been here. He's done a nice job of doing that, helping Ty.
How would you describe Ty's demeanor and body language
Right
last
now,
couple days?
he's been the cool, calm customer he is. You know, I think he is a very well-liked player on this football team, and a very well-respected player for his work ethic and his character and what he, you know, the person he is and what he puts in and what he's working to accomplish here. So he has a lot of team respect, and you know, the guys will rally behind him because of that. And his demeanor hasn't changed. He's a very poised young man.
Coach, the Longhorns defense was kind of in a tough spot against these Cougars last year. What do you see from this BYU defense that gives you reason to be worried and concerned?
No, nothing. We, you know, we approach every one of them the same. We get ready for all of them the same way. You know, we're basically in our program right now. What we're doing is we're taking care of our guys. You know, we got to take care of our program first and get our guys ready. We're still developing, you know, our guys and our philosophy, just our team philosophy, and as well as our offense and defense.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.